Continuing our series of reviewing the LEGO modulars, today we're going to be taking a look at the pet shop, but just like last time there is a twist. This pet shop is completely fake. Here we are then, this is the LEGO modular pet shop from AliExpress. I'll just spin it on its Mills plate so you can get a quick 360 of this build. As you can see, pretty much indistinguishable from the actual LEGO one, although you might have already spotted a couple of problems around the back, but we'll get to them in a minute. The very first thing I'm going to do is just move this minifigure which is on a bike out the front. We'll take a closer look at the minifigures in a bit, but I just don't want to lose that while we're moving the modular around. Now the cool thing about the pet shop is that this was the first ever modular to be built across two half base plates, so we can actually split this into two separate builds, and then we'll review each side separately before putting them back together. So let's start with this side over here. This is just a house. We'll give it another quick spin on its Mills plate. As you can see, this is just a residential building, and then the pet shop is over there. The first thing I'm going to point out is that I have built this onto a Mills plate, so if we flip it around actually, you can see these studs on the back here do say LEGO on them, where that's actually a base plate that I already had that didn't come with the set. The base plate that came with the set is actually this 16x32 green one along the bottom. We got two of those, one's over on the pet shop as well. But yeah, obviously I wanted to Mills plate the set so that I could move it around more easily, so I added myself some 16x16 plates along the top of the Mills plate, which is why these studs say LEGO and none of the other studs do. Okay, enough talking, let's get the roof off of this build and actually have a look inside. So we can take off that roof panel there, and this is the top floor of our build. Not much actual detail in there, as you can see, just a couple boxes and then the stairs which go down to the bottom floor. And if we spin it around, you can see the back of the windows, and then we have this little balcony with a little garden on it. And obviously this door does open. I'm also a big fan of the little stained glass window on this wall. Now up on this section, you've probably already spotted it. This is the one problem I have with this whole modular, and that is this one piece on the corner here. As you can see, for whatever reason, when they were like injection molding the pieces for this section, I guess it just ran out of filament because there's just a big gap here. Now upon realizing this piece was broken, I did reach out to the seller, and while he initially agreed to send me a replacement piece, this was the same seller who sent me the brick bank I reviewed last time, and if you remember that build, I had a lot of problems with the roof section. So the conversation sort of got steered towards that, and I guess he forgot to send me this broken piece for the roof. But I mean, this piece is in the back corner of the build, so when it's on display, you never really see that anyway, so I guess I'm okay with it for now. And then let's take off this floor as well and have a look at the one below, so we can move that over there. And here is the middle floor of our modular. As you can see, this floor is completely under construction. We have a minifigure painting the wall. Very cool building detail, I think, there. It really does look like he's spreading that paint onto the wall. And again, we'll take a closer look at the actual minifigure in a minute. But yeah, there's that spiral staircase which went up to the top floor. And there's not much more details on here. Like I said, it's supposed to be under construction. So let's go and lift it off and have a look at the one underneath. And this is the ground floor of the residential part of the pet shop. So we have another minifigure there about to make a phone call. A little blue and black couch, some flowers, hat rack by the door, which again, obviously, the doors do open. Same with the back door. We'll take a look at the garden in a minute. And then we have this little door here, which opens up to show the bathroom inside with a tiny little toilet build. Out the front then, we have the stairs up to the front door, another little garden build, and this little post box which actually does open, and there's a letter inside. That is a printed tile. There are no stickers in any parts of this build. It's all printed tiles. Then spinning it around to the back, you can see we've got the back garden here. Like I said, LEGO on the studs, just try and ignore that. We have this little bin here which actually does have some rubbish inside of it. There you can see I've just taken the lid off. There's a little red cheese slope in there which I guess is supposed to be their garbage. And then finally for this part of the build, we have these little doors which I can open here which show you the underside of the actual modular. And I don't know if you can see it so well on the camera, but there is actually a ladder inside of here, which then if we go back inside of the modular and lift up this coffee cup, you can see there is a trapdoor which leads to that ladder and then out of the back. So that's just another way for minifigures to get in and out of the build. That is the entirety of the residential side of this build, so let me put this thing back together and then we'll take a look at the actual pet shop. Alright then, so here is the actual pet shop side of the pet shop LEGO modular. We'll spin that around. You can get a quick 360 again. I really like the exterior detail on this part of the modular here, especially the actual pet shop itself. This brick built sign here is part of the reason that I chose this as one of my first modulars. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start again at the very top by removing the roof and taking a look inside of the very top floor of our modular. Not much detail up here. We have a little bed and a lamp build. It's basically like a balcony, this section. You can see the stairs which lead down there. But yeah, this whole top floor is mainly just like the bedroom for our minifigures to live in. But let's remove this top floor and have a look underneath. So we'll just put that over to the side. And this is the middle floor of the pet shop side of our modular. Obviously, these are the stairs leading up to the floor we just saw. Around the back of that, we have another door. It's quite a tight squeeze there. But if I actually look through the window, that's where the stairs go down to the floor below. Nice little printed clock piece here. We have a chair with a cup at the side. I guess this is like a kitchen area. So we have what I think is a coffee machine, a sink, and a cooker. And then a fireplace with a little fire piece inside. And then there's the windows out the front. You can see the flowers which are placed on the little windowsills out here. Very nice little detail. Quite fiddly to build, but it does look nice in the end. So let's take off that middle section and have a look at the floor below. And this is the ground floor of our pet shop, the actual pet shop itself, finally. So like I said, we've got them stairs leading up to the upstairs. They actually come from this other door here. You can see I've got a minifigure on them. So yeah, the stairs going up into the kind of residential area are actually separate from the pet shop itself. Inside of the pet shop itself, you can see we've got a bunch of stuff on a shelf, including a yellow Lego frog, a couple of parrots in the window. You can see them a bit clearer if we come down here. We've got this little cat in the corner, which is inside a glass box and is looking through that tiny little hole in the wall, because on the other side, outside of the building, there is this rat which the cat is chasing. And then over in the other corner, we have a fish tank with a large fish inside. And then this section here has a dog with a bone. You can see the floor down there is in 2 different colors. That is because the base plate is supposed to be green, but I ran out of 16 by 16 green base plates. So yeah, you can see it's Lego branded again. That's just a grey 16 by 16 which I used for the Mills plate. And I just need to point that out because that is not a problem with the AliExpress modular. I made that change myself. If you didn't Mills plate it, all the colours would be exactly how they're supposed to be. And then we have the actual front of the shop itself. This really nice brick built pet sign on there. Like I said, that is one of the reasons I wanted to pick up this modular. I think that is a really cool building technique. And then below that, obviously, we've got the door into the pet shop, the parrots, like I said, and then we've got like an apple and some bones in boxes outside, which I guess the minifigures could buy. And then a little brick-built street lamp out the front. Obviously, it doesn't work. It's just there for decoration. And yeah, that is all of the floors of both parts of this modular. So let me rebuild the entire thing, and then we'll take a look at the minifigs. And just quickly before we do look at those minifigures, while I'm putting it back together, I'll just show you down here. You can see when we put the 2 halves together, they're connected by these Technic pins and Technic holes on either side of the modular. And then you can just clip them together like so. So here you can see all of the minifigures you get with this set. We have this man in a green jumper, woman in a red top, the decorator we saw before, and then what I'm guessing is a child minifigure on a bike. I'm saying she's a child because she has the short minifigure legs. So yeah, just like the minifigures we had with the brick bank last time, the torso printing and the quality of the minifigures are excellent. Everything is exactly the same as the official Lego ones, until you look at the faces. For whatever reason, I guess they're not allowed to use the official Lego minifigure faces, because all of the AliExpress figures I've ever got always come with this creepy looking smile on their faces. So I'll give you the same advice I gave last time when we had the figures from the brick bank. Just swap out the heads for some real ones you already have in your collection. But again, the faces are the only real issue in what is otherwise a perfect replica of a Lego modular building. So don't let the figures be the only reason you don't pick up this set. So there we go. Hopefully you enjoyed my review of this AliExpress Lego modular pet shop. This is actually the last modular that I already owned before starting this channel, so the next one we review will actually have the build segment as well. But yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I am definitely putting my seal of approval on the AliExpress Pet Shop. This thing is almost indistinguishable from the actual Lego one. So I'm just editing this video right now, and I realized I never told you exactly how much the pet shop actually cost me, so let the record show that this AliExpress modular was £50. Do go ahead and let me know which Lego sets you'd like me to review next, but apart from that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.